Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype and the noise and I give you the non-biased information you can use to hopefully capitalize on the biggest opportunity in history. Guys, this video is going to be full of alpha. And if you are thinking about owning any payment token or ISO20022 compliant token or any of that, you need to watch this video. Now, BRICS has made a big flip of that so-called switch, and there are a lot of things are changing in the world. A lot of people are going to tell you that there's a banking reset and that there's going to be a new financial system. Well, a lot of that's true, but what is not true is who's going to be leading the way. Now, I've done the research, and I don't know anyone in crypto that has done the research I've done when it comes to the flow of money. And the reason I say that is I don't see it ever, and if they've done their research, they wouldn't say the 90% of straight BS that I hear every day. You know, when I do a deep dive, whether it's 2 hours or 10 hours, the bulk of that time is cutting through the BS. And the reason I know it's BS is because not only have I done my research on like the crypto side of it, like Ripple and Stellar and ALGorand and IOTA and Quant, I've done it on the competitors. I've read the roadmap of Swift and JP Morgan and FIS Global and the Fed and Circle, right? So when you look at the big picture and who's doing what, well, guys, it's not as impressive sometimes when you hear what you think is a big deal, and then you wonder why your favorite project isn't pumping when they're supposed to be dominating like the flow of money and cross-border payments or whatever. So in this video, it's going to give you a ton of alpha. We're going to talk about who's doing what, who's taking over, who's dominating, what they have in store, and what we can expect. Because, guys, the world has changed, and a lot of people are going to tell you like the banks are going to disappear, and that you're going to see the banks disappear like when Blockbusters got took over by Netflix, or how the cab drivers disappeared because of Uber. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not that simple, because the difference is the cab drivers had no idea what was coming, and neither did Blockbusters. Blockbusters actually could have bought uh, Netflix for like $5 million and turned it down because they didn't see him as a threat. Well, when it comes to Web3 and tokenization of assets and payments and all that, believe me, the legacy banks, Wall Street, and the governments are very aware. And I'm here to tell you, and I'll let you decide when I walk you through who's doing what. They're not going to lose market share. And not only are they not going to lose market share, if you follow along of where they're at now, they're pulling away. They're pulling away with the technology that's supposed to be upsetting them. So don't be fooled. But guys, don't take it from me. I'll walk you through some really good information and do with this information as you will. It's not financial advice, but you need this alpha or you're just going to be misinformed. So how are you going to pick the winners and losers when you don't even understand who's doing what and who's in the game? So let's dive into it. Hit that like button. Now, the Bank of International Settlement, BIS, is a part of, what's going on with BRICS and their Mbridge. Well, most people are aware that they rolled out their Mbridge. Well, I'm going to simplify what that's all about, because there's been a lot of misinformation about how, say Ripple and XRP is going to, be the rails of the global reset and all that. Well, I just tell you what's going on now, and you decide if it's relevant. But the Mbridge basically is like their own ledger. So BRICS basically has the same technology of like Ripple and XRP, Stellar, or whoever. maybe a little different, but it fits their needs and they control it. And that's one thing, guys, I've been saying for years. I've said the banks, the governments, and Wall Street are going to control this technology. They are going to dominate it. They're not going to bring people into the fold. Like I remember listening to a podcast with David Schwartz with Ripple, and he said, look, the banks didn't want to tie themselves in with us on cross-border payments because of the risk, of them being tied to us. It's just common sense, guys. Well, at least to most people. But anyway, the BRICS have now created their own token, and they're basically in beta. They're testing it. They're using it. I believe they've done like $20 million worth of transactions, and their token is called the unit. Now, I don't know if we'll be able to buy that as an investment. I think it's going to be basically no different than I think it's like a combination between a CBDC and a stablecoin. So there's no way to front run it and make any money I can tell. But the unit as the token is going to be backed primarily by gold. Now, they haven't finalized this, but they've been talking about a basket. Because what they want, guys, is to go take the place of the US dollar. The way the dollar became dominant back in the day was we were like, hey, we will back the dollar with gold. And then our government basically flipped the switch and, kind of conned the whole world, to be honest, including the U.S. Citizens. And because that gave them the power to print money. And that's why, that was probably one of the biggest reasons America has just exploded and could dominate the world like we do outside our military and all that. But that's how they paid for it. Anyway, I don't want to get off track of that. But BRICS is really putting something in place that could have a massive future. And I believe that it will probably work for them. I don't think it's going to be a big deal to do damage to the dollar for at least many, many years, probably not even in my lifetime, because I think when it's all said and done, people are still going to be converting to dollars. I could be wrong. But either way, even if they end up winning the race and flipping that script, it's going to be relevant in our investing. It's going to take a long, long time because no matter what, we haven't seen any pushback from America yet. And believe me, there will be pushback. There'll be tariffs, there'll be whatever, and you could see people drop out of BRICS like that. And I'll give you another example, and I'm getting off track, but I remember when the Bank of BRICS wanted to raise some money to do all this stuff, they couldn't, so they had to be backed by the U.S. bonds, and then they raised like, I think it was like $500 million or something. So no, the world doesn't really want that, for whatever that's worth. All right. Now, when it comes to the flow of money, and probably the biggest relationship with the Fed now is FIS Global. People aren't aware of who they are, but they move trillions of dollars around the world, like $50 trillion a year. That is a huge amount of money. And they're on the level of like the JP Morgans. They're one of the most powerful fintechs in the world. Like, look at this. People, see, this is the funny thing about crypto to me. When I first got into crypto, the first thing I did was like, who are the players? Well, FIS came up. This is a press release of 4 years ago. It says FIS Global partners with the clearinghouse to bring real-time payments to the U.S. financial institutes. Well, that's crypto, right? They've had real-time instant settlements for like 2 years now, but yet you keep hearing influencers say, "Oh, fast or slow payments. The world needs faster," and da 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 da. There's no problem to fix. They've already done it. So dive into FIS Global, guys. Go to their website. Surf around. Look at that. Fintech, the financial world is built on. That's not exaggeration. They they basically have their rails to 95% of the dominant banks in the world. And so go surf around. Now, let's talk about JP Morgan. People hate JP Morgan, but guys, they've been working on cross-border payments for, like 7, 8, 9 years now. And when it comes to cross-border payments, now remember, guys, you hear all the time from like the XRP influencers, right? You hear all the time how instant payments, Ripple's setting up the future. Well, the future's been set up. Look at this video. Check this out. This is JP Morgan's video.
Back in 2010, the fastest way to get money on the same day from New York to London was to fly it there yourself. Now, payments can be made securely, in seconds, to anywhere in the world at virtually no cost. Innovation in payments happens fast. JP Morgan's Power Plus framework.
I'm not going to get into all that, but think about it, guys. Instant payments have been here. They have it. There's nothing to overthrow. There's no banking reset. And yes, everything's changing. The world's moving into Web3. But JP Morgan, no if and buts about it, and FIS Global have it covered. Especially FIS Global, they have liquidity pools. JP Morgan is setting that up. They have instant settlement. They move trillions and trillions of dollars. I mean, FIS Global has the biggest and best relationship with Fed now. I truly believe they'll be one of the dominant players. JP Morgan owns 37.9% of the Fed. What rails do you think is going to be used? I mean, guys, they're the powerhouses. They move more money. I want to be clear. They move more money and do more transactions in a day than, for example, Ripple has moved in 11 years. Think about that. And they have instant settlement. They have all the customers. Bank of Sanator. This is some misinformation. And for the likes of me, guys, I wish I had someone filling me in with some facts, with my information that would help me out. And if the crypto world would get together and quit being tribal and quit trying to grow their channel and was actually looking for the truth or the facts, we could all make better investments. But you'll hear, mark my words, write it down. You're going to hear one of the biggest customers of Ripple and XRP is Bank of Sanator, which is one of the biggest banks in the world in, I believe it's Brazil. And that was true. That was true like 5 years ago, but they keep spreading the word. Well, guess what? Bank of Sanator doesn't use Ripple XRP anymore. That was announced like 2 years ago. And guess what? As you can see on the screen, Sanator uses the Lightning Network. And see, people don't understand. They want to compare like Bitcoin and Ethereum to all these amazing layer ones, whether it's Solana or HBAR or XRP or XLM. Oh, this layer one is bigger, better, stronger, faster, more scalable. Well, guys, it's the ecosystem. I can't stress that enough. We're not just comparing quarterbacks. We're comparing the whole team. And when you start adding in layer twos, they're dominating on Bitcoin. They're in the top echelon, or whatever you want to say, of the flow of money. The Lightning Network is exploding way faster than almost any other payment network out there that is a direct competitor. And that gets to another point. Guys, I've said a long time that most of these tokens are going to disappear, like 98%, but most of them aren't going to be needed. And people are like, that doesn't make sense. You're out of your mind. Guys, they're just a mechanism to move money and make money off of speculation and people that don't understand crypto. Lightning Network is a layer 2, no token needed. JP Morgan coin moves as much money around the world as anyone. no token needed. Consensus, no token needed. The base network doesn't have a token. That's what the future is going to look like. Guys, we're going to be moving money more like Venmo and Cash App, and it's going to be insured on someone else's rails for the most part. It just makes sense. Because think about it, guys. There's no real money to be made by a blockchain and its ecosystem at .002, right? If you do $1 trillion, you make like what, $2 million? If not a trillion, if you do 1 trillion transactions, that's only like $1 million. And most projects, name your project, is not even remotely in the ballpark of 1 trillion, and it will be 10, 20 years before they do 1 trillion, right? Of any blockchain project. I mean, HBAR is doing like they're at what, 58 billion? Do the math of how long that's going to take them to do 1 trillion, and that's just combined. You need to be doing 1 trillion like a week to make any money at .002. That's not the future, in my opinion, but hey, whatever you guys think. Now, bear with me. All right. Whether we like it or not, the same entities are dominating. Blackrock, Barclays, JP Morgan all got together and have their own blockchain app for payments, right? JP Morgan's rolling out collateral settlements. Guys, that's a whole different avenue, and I'm not going to get into it because people don't really care, but I'm here to tell you, JP Morgan is going to work with the government, and there's going to be legislation that allow them to do things that these blockchain companies can't do, and it's going to give them that edge. Now, if you read and go do some research on JP Morgan, whether you like them or not, you're going to find out. You're going to read articles like this. Look at this. JP Morgan adds the Holy Grail payment features as part of their blockchain. Guys, there's no comparing some of these big players to, like, say, Ripple and XRP. They're not even in the ballpark of being of relevance, no matter what you hear. But do some research, compare some numbers, compare some math of adoption, customers, transactions, volume of money. Now, Circle, I hate to say it, but for when it comes to the real flow of money, it's going to be stable coins, and stable coins make a killing. Now, I believe that USDC is going to be the closest thing to a global reserve currency that you can get outside of Bitcoin. And the reason I say that is it's basically backed by BlackRock, JP Morgan, Bank of Mellon, the Fed. They have the Treasury bonds and all that as part of their collateral. And the U.S. government is running around attacking like USDT. And mark my words, for example, if Ripple comes out with their stablecoin, and I think they will, if it starts getting even a little bit of getting into what USDC, they'll probably find themselves back in court. And another thing, a lot of people, and I don't want to jump off track about XRP and their stablecoin, I do believe that stablecoin will help the ecosystem of XRP, but it's not going to move the needle, and the bulk of the transactions are going to be on the stablecoin on Ethereum, and then they'll put it on like Solana. Guys, the bulk of that is not going to run on XRP rails, right? XLR is the bridge from Ripple's stablecoin to Ethereum. So guys, it's just like USDC. They don't have their own rails. They don't have their own token. You don't need a third-party token for your stablecoin. Now, they're going to do some crazy transactions and some cross-border payments. That's why it is a net positive, but it's not going to move the needle whatsoever, at least in this bull run, probably even the next, for whatever that's worth. Now, SWIFT. Guys, read this white paper. Once you read this one, and that'll lead you to where else you can go if you need more information. SWIFT isn't going anywhere, guys. It's actually hilarious. And anyone that tells you that Ripple and XRP is going to be the next SWIFT and all that, guys, quit listening to them unless you like to lose money and you want to go another 7 years and not get your money back. Guys, SWIFT is one of the dominant players when it comes to the flow of money and instant settlement and tokenized assets. They're setting it up. They've got a roadmap. They are building the tech. It's just software and code. They are going to keep their dominance and gain dominance, in my opinion. Now, that being said, if you really want to look at which like ISO token or interoperability token to invest in, if you want a blue chip, I would highly recommend go read about Link and how important Link is with Swift. So even when the ISO 2022 compliant process happens, whether they do use Ripple's rails or IOTA's rails or HBAR rails, it's irrelevant. That will only be a little piece of the pie of Swift and Link. If there's an in and out, it's going to go through Link gateways. It all benefits Swift and it all benefits Link. So how can you be bullish and thinking that the big ISO coins are going to be relevant? They're just like a road going into New York City. Link's the toll bridge, and Swift is the city. It makes the money. Same with like Fed now, guys. All these big projects that there are probably 1,000 rails in the beginning go in and out of Fed now, but they'll just be that's not a big deal for the tokens that run on top of those rails. And then trust me when I tell you, not financial advice, but fast forward once it's regulated, and say 10 years from now, Fed now is going to have probably, I don't know, 5-10 rails max, and it'll probably run out of, Visa, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, FIS Global, and a handful of big boys. That's it. So for whatever that's worth, think about that. Now, if you read articles like this when you're non-biased, this article says Ripple's cross-border business could be collateral damage because of the SEC lawsuit. Now, whether you agree about that or not, I don't care, guys. All I want for you, first of all, I want you to be in that 10% club and make money and not in the 90% that lose money. But I just want you to be informed. And if you listen to like this video and you still say, no, Ripple's going to take over the world, have at it, guys. But you need to at least stop watching CNN. At least go watch Fox and balance it, which you're still not going to have the full picture. You need to watch CNN. You need to watch Fox. You need to Google it. You need to find about 10 people online to give you the news, and the ones that don't lie to you. Then you can literally figure out what's happening in the world. It's exactly that way in crypto. Now, that being said, I'm going to let you hear what David Schwartz said in a live interview. I've showed this like 2 other times, and I'll leave a link down below to Crypto Erie, who brought it to my attention. But guys, I'm going to give you 3 quotes, and I'm going to show you a part of this video. I'm not going to show all 3 quotes, but you can go find them in the video if you want to watch the whole thing. And I highly recommend you do if you think Ripple is still the future. But here's 3 quotes that David said in an interview, his last interview that I'm aware of. He said, banks don't want to be reliant on Ripple. He actually said us. Now, he said, banks don't want to move billions with XRP and Ripple. They just wanted the press release. Banks will not be Ripple's successes. Guys, that's coming from David Schwartz. So remember that. When all your influencers tell you that Ripple is going to rule the world and all the money, like the black swan capitalists, tells you all the money's going to run on XRP rails, and XRP's the new global currency, etc., etc. Guys, they're not even in the game, and I say that with love. I trade XRP almost every day. I understand it. I think Ripple is great. I think Brad and David's great. I think Ripple's going to get their share. I think XRP may be around in 10 years, but it's going to be irrelevant as a investment. It'll be probably sitting at $2, and it could be moving money or whatever, but it will still be making Ripple money. It's just a money making mechanism. All right, hear this. I meant to show that before I got on my high horse.
Markets, banks, it's very sexy when you close a deal with the bank, and we do that sometimes, but they're very slow movers. They're very slow to execute. They're very conservative. They're never going to be Ripple success stories, and it's hard to get them to push the benefits down to their customers because that's risky for them, and then it highlights where they're inefficient. So we focused a lot on banks in the beginning just because a press release with a bank is a big thing, but we discovered they're just very slow to, like, if all they want is a press release, now we're like, hey, like, we want to actually, like, move billions of dollars now, and they're like, yeah, we kind of don't.
Think about that. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, guys. Y'all should be thanking me instead of hating me in the comments. Why don't you go call out your influencers and make them explain what David just said? Because right now, guys, if you do some real research, you'll understand that Ripple and XRP are moving into tokenized assets in a whole different area. And again, I believe Ripple's going to do extremely well. Hell, they have the XRP Army to keep, dumping on and growing their company for years and years. So it's working out extremely well. But that being said, XRP is a long-term hold, and the banking reset, and all the money's going to run on XRP rails, and the $50,000 buyback, and do the math on what 10K XRP looks like, guys, and then look at the competition who is gaining ground. Like, guys, the Lightning Network grew by 1,212% last year. It's doing more adoption for cross-border payments, just like JP Morgan and FIS Global, than Ripple. So not only are they way behind, they're not gaining ground when it comes to market share, period. Now, last thing I'm going to show you, and guys, I don't mean to harp on XRP, but I have to tell you, I wish we, as a community, as a crypto community, that people could justify the stupid stuff they say, and we could have a real conversation. But you can't do that with the XRP Army. You can't. I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about this chart, and it's a perfect example. No matter what chart that is, whether it's XRP or if it was Bitcoin or whatever, that's a bear market chart. And as a rule, probability rule, no matter what, if a chart looks like that, that means this project, whether it's XRP or whatever project it is, it did not hit a new all-time high. It didn't even get in the ballpark in the last bull run. Now, it doesn't show signs of it being even taking out this all-time high or second all-time high. So I don't see why anyone would want to tie up a lot of money and hodl something that has lost the 90% of people money in the last 7 years. Guys, it doesn't make sense, but it's your money. Now you know. Do with that information as you will. But that's all I got for you guys. If y'all need some help, reach out. I do one-on-one coaching. It's only $250 for 3 Zoom or phone calls. We can talk about that. I'll leave a link. You can get some more information. And guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you're going to insult me and hate on me, have at it, guys. I'm immune to it almost. But here's the deal. State some facts, right? That's one thing. Every time I call out an XRP influencer, I go, tell me the fact that I lied about or that I'm wrong. I'll make a video and correct it. They never, ever do. They tell me I haven't done my research, and they tell me why I'm wrong, but most of them have no idea who FIS Global is. They have never watched a video by Circle and their roadmap or Swift. They've done no research to see what are the dominant players up to. Are they blockbusters? Are they cab companies? The answer is no, not even close. It's actually humorous to think that they are going to lose their dominance. And again, when we talk about tokenized real world assets, guys, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all the power players, they don't need to run out and get customers. They've got them. They've got all the tokenization assets that they need to dominate the world and never have to compete with anyone. They have the technology. Right now they're building on like Ondo and Ethereum, but the odds are that's going to move over to their own rails in the future when regulation is free and clear. Now, that may be 10 years from now, but guys, whether we like it or not, the central banks, Wall Street, and the governments, primarily the U.S. government, are going to pick winners and losers. They're going to dominate, and they're not going to be losing any market share, period. And the ones that do will disappear, and that market share will go back to the survivors. Now, let me just give you some positive notes. Even though Wall Street is going to take over and the banks and all that, guys, there's an immense amount of opportunity. And the reason I harp on having an understanding is by far the number one crazy thing that I see with all my clients and in all of crypto. For some reason, people don't want to take profits. They get confused about that this new tech is like stocks. Guys, go study history. Go study the 2000 dot-com bust. It's exactly like this. Look, whether Ripple or XRP can take over tokenized assets, or XLM, or Ondo, or Goldfinch, whatever, doesn't mean they can't pump hard based on the concept, based on the hype of the sector. But that sector is going to die. And even the winner, probably in 10 years, is not going to be a good investment. They will probably level off and become more like just your Walmart or your average stock. It'll drop down to maybe making 10 or 12% a year. And guys, the probabilities of holding any project outside of Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum or Quant or XRP, it doesn't matter. The probability of it being around in 10 years are slim, very slim, like 90, probably 8% that they're not going to make it. And even if they make it, what value are they going to have, right? And then you also got to think regulation and technology. Guys, this is cutting edge tech, no matter what, but look just how fast and how different it's changed. And I got news for you. When it comes to payments, I truly believe like Venmo, we haven't even talked about that, Cash App, Zelle, they dominate in domestic between me and you, no token needed, and it's probably not even blockchain. I don't know how their back end works, but no one cares. And the reason they don't care is it's instant to you. If you send someone money on any of those apps, you get the money immediately. It can't be taken back out for the most part. And it's instant. Now the back end, my guess is how it works is they have their own liquidity pool. You send, $10, they deposit their $10, and then 24 hours or whatever, they get their money back. But no one cares, guys. No one cares. And when it comes to decentralization, like I hear this all the time. Oh, decentralization wins. I hear it a lot from, say, the ICP community. Well, guys, no one cares. And most people don't want decentralization. Now, it is nice to know that you're covered, that no other entity can control you or whatever you're trying to do, that part. But here's the reality. If I'm going to send real money, I would, and my bank, let's say I could call my bank right now and say, hey, I want to send, $50,000 somewhere. And they're like, great, you can use our rails that is private, and anything you do to mess up, we got you covered. Whether you want to go buy a new car, a house, right? It's, to me, it's probably, at least until they really work it out, it's probably going to be something like the self-checkout counter, like at Walmart, right? We're gonna be doing it like, I may be sending you $50,000, and you may be sending me your car title that we're both tokenized and turn into a smart contract NFT. But if it messes up and you don't get my money, or I don't get that car title, then it's going to be on secured, private, insured rails, and we're going to call Bank of America or whichever rails we decide to use in the future. We're going to say, hey, I didn't get my money, or I didn't get my title to the car, and it'll be taken care of. Everyone wants a safety net. For crypto to go mainstream, there's going to be safety nets. Anyway, hopefully you learned a lot. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And again, guys, I want to be clear. I'm not harping on Ripple and XRP, and there wouldn't be so many crazy videos like this if I wasn't attacked for spitting out the truth. For some reason, instead of thanking someone that has done research and tell you the honest truth of what they uncover, because I don't care, guys. Trust me when I tell you, what sent me down the XRP rabbit hole was I was fascinated with that so-called banking reset and how dominant and how it was going to change the world. And I was going to put some serious money into XRP. And that led me down the Ripple rabbit hole. I didn't go down the XRP rabbit hole. I went down the Ripple rabbit hole. And then once I uncovered the fact of how Ripple uses XRP, and that when a bank does partner with Ripple, that bank doesn't go buy retail XRP. It pays Ripple to access their money and their tokens, which actually dilutes the retail, because it does work its way into the market. So if anyone could tell me how that is actually positive, hey, I'll go stack more XRP. And also, guys, no matter what, Ripple dumps millions of tokens every month. They release 100 million, which they could go all out if there was enough liquidity, but they normally sell around 200, 250 million. Well, guys, at $1, that's 250 million pulling out of the ecosystem. Highly recommend you research what I just said and study tokenomics, and how tokenomics can inflate and dilute a project, whether it's XRP or any project, because it matters. Guys, once you understand inflation and tokenomics, you probably will not find more than 5 or 10 projects that can remotely justify holding long term because of the inflation. And if we have a recession, whether that's this year or 5 years from now, any project that has bad inflation and bad tokenomics is just going to keep getting hammered, because that's how they support the ecosystem. They're going to keep printing money, just like our government, which, guys, the best projects to hold long term are the ones with the best tokenomics. But again, projects like Quant, you can still get wrecked. I love Quant, but I did a video, I sold my Quant. And the reason being, I found out that there's like 5 competitors that are software companies, corporations around the world competing with Quant. Well, they don't have a token that you can buy. And guess what else? One of those has gained more market share than all of those other projects and Quant combined. So they're not winning the race. As much as I love Quant and their tokenomics, that is not a token to hodl. And in my opinion, not financial advice, anyone holding those type projects are crazy. So guys, do yourself a favor, get a game plan. Whether you take me up on coaching or not, get a game plan, take your profits or become the profits. All right, that's all I got. Hit the like button, share with like-minded people. Let me know what you think in the comment section, but come back and be part of this community. Subscribe, because guys, we're going to figure it out, and I truly believe this is the biggest opportunity in history. Hopefully this video helped. Take care.